You know what's better than buying a new SUV? Buying one that'll still be running strong when your neighbors are on their third vehicle. I'm talking about SUVs that laugh at 200,000 miles and cruise past 300,000 like it's nothing. And here's the kicker. While everyone's obsessing over luxury brands, there are 7 Japanese SUVs that are quietly building legendary reputations for lasting literally forever. Stick around, because number 1 on this list has owners with over 400,000 miles still going strong, and the resale value will blow your mind. Let's dive right in, starting with number 7. Number 7, 2026, Honda Passport. The Honda Passport is the SUV that refuses to be put in a corner. While it might be overshadowed by its more popular siblings, this mid-size beast is Honda's secret weapon for drivers who need serious capability without the bulk of a pilot. The 2026 Passport comes equipped with Honda's bulletproof 3.5-litre V6 engine producing 280 horsepower. Now you might be thinking, isn't everyone going turbo these days? And you'd be right. But Honda stuck with this naturally aspirated V6 for a reason. It's been proven in millions of vehicles over decades. No turbo lag, no complicated intercoolers to fail, just pure, reliable power. What makes the Passport a longevity champion? First, Honda's engineering philosophy. They don't chase every trend. That V6 engine uses a timing belt system that, while requiring replacement every 100,000 miles, is far more forgiving than timing chains that can stretch and cause catastrophic failure. The transmission is Honda's proven 9-speed automatic, which has been refined over multiple generations to eliminate early issues. The Passport's Trail Sport trim takes it even further with upgraded suspension, all-terrain tires, and improved approach angles. But here's what matters for longevity. Honda didn't complicate things. The 4-wheel drive system is straightforward and robust. No fancy terrain selectors with 15 modes that'll confuse the ECU 20 years down the line. Just solid mechanical systems that work. Owners are reporting that Passports from 2019 and 2020 are already crossing 150,000 miles with nothing more than routine maintenance. The chassis is rock solid, the interior materials hold up remarkably well, and that V6 engine just keeps pulling. One owner in Colorado just hit 200,000 miles on his 2019 model, and his biggest expense? Tires and brake pads. That's it. The real genius of the Passport is its simplicity wrapped in capability. It's not trying to be a luxury vehicle with air suspension and adaptive this and adaptive that. It's a truck-based SUV mentality in a modern package, and that philosophy translates directly to longevity. Number 6, 2026, Mazda CX-50. Now we're getting into interesting territory. The Mazda CX-50 is the new kid on the block, but it's built on decades of Mazda engineering excellence. And unlike the CX-5, which we'll get to later, the CX-50 is specifically designed for the North American market with one focus: durability. The 2026 CX-50 comes with 2 engine options, but the one you want for maximum longevity is the naturally aspirated 2.5-litre 4-cylinder producing 187 horsepower. Yes, there's a turbocharged version with 256 horsepower, and yes, it's been reliable so far. But if we're talking about 300,000 miles, naturally aspirated engines have the statistical advantage. Fewer parts to fail, less heat stress, and simpler maintenance. What sets the CX-50 apart is Mazda's obsession with rust prevention. This SUV is built in Alabama specifically to withstand North American conditions, and Mazda has applied some of the most advanced anti-corrosion treatments in the industry. We're talking about a 12-year perforation warranty, which Mazda wouldn't offer if they weren't absolutely confident in their rust protection. The CX-50's longevity credentials extend to its transmission. The 6-speed automatic is borrowed from Mazda's proven lineup, refined over millions of miles in real-world conditions. It's not the sexiest or the quickest, but it's smooth, reliable, and most importantly, it doesn't generate excessive heat. Heat is the enemy of longevity, and Mazda engineers this transmission to run cool even under heavy loads. Here's something most people miss. The CX-50's suspension geometry is designed for long-term durability, not just comfort. The McPherson struts up front and multi-link rear suspension use high-quality bushings and components that resist wear. Early CX-50 owners are reporting that their SUVs still feel tight and composed at 60,000 and 70,000 miles when other vehicles start developing squeaks and rattles. The interior is where Mazda really shines for longevity. Instead of cheap plastics that crack and fade, the CX-50 uses high-quality materials throughout. The seats are designed to maintain their shape over time, and the dashboard uses materials that resist UV damage. These might seem like small details, but they matter when you're planning to keep a vehicle for 15 years. Mazda owners are famously loyal, and there's a reason for that. The brand has quietly built a reputation for vehicles that last. The CX-50 is continuing that tradition with modern engineering and old-school reliability principles. Number 5. 2026 Subaru Forester. The Subaru Forester is where things get really interesting. This is the SUV that hikers, campers, and outdoor enthusiasts swear by, and there's solid engineering reasons why you see 20-year-old Foresters still tackling mountain trails. The 2026 Forester sticks with Subaru's legendary 2.5-litre naturally aspirated boxer engine, producing 180 horsepower. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's not a lot of power for 2026, and you're absolutely right. But here's the secret. This engine has been refined over decades and is one of the most reliable power plants on the planet. The boxer configuration means lower center of gravity and inherent balance, which reduces vibration and wear. But the real magic of the Forester is Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system. Unlike part-time systems that only engage when needed, the Forester sends power to all four wheels all the time. This means no sudden engagement shocks, no transfer case that needs to actuate, and no complex electronics deciding which wheel gets power. It's mechanical, it's simple, and it works. Subaru owners regularly report 300,000-mile Foresters, and there's a cult following of people who refuse to part with their high-mileage Subarus. The key maintenance item is the head gasket, which on older models was a known issue. But Subaru addressed this years ago with improved gasket materials and better coolant formulations. Modern Foresters, including the 2026 model, have effectively eliminated this problem. The continuously variable transmission in the Forester is where some people get nervous. CVTs have a reputation for failure, and in some brands, that reputation is deserved. But Subaru has been refining their CVT for over a decade, and the current generation is remarkably durable. The key is following Subaru's maintenance schedule religiously. Fresh CVT fluid every 30,000 miles, and these transmissions will go the distance. What really sets the Forester apart for longevity is its galvanized steel body. Subaru treats the entire chassis with a multi-stage rust prevention process that rivals luxury brands. This is critical if you live in the snow belt where salt eats cars alive. 15-year-old Foresters from snowy climates still have clean underbodies, which is almost unheard of. The Forester's interior is practical and durable. No flashy screens that'll be obsolete in 5 years. No complicated infotainment that'll crash and require expensive replacements. Just straightforward controls that'll work year after year. The seats are some of the most comfortable in the segment, and they maintain their support even after hundreds of thousands of miles. Number 4. 2026 Honda CR-V Hybrid Trail Sport. Now we're getting to the heavy hitters. The Honda CR-V has been America's best-selling SUV for years, and there's a simple reason. It just works. But the 2026 CR-V Hybrid Trail Sport takes everything that made the CR-V legendary and adds a hybrid system that actually increases longevity. Yes, you read that right. The hybrid version might actually last longer. The CR-V Hybrid uses a 2.0-litre four-cylinder engine paired with 2 electric motors, producing a combined 204 horsepower. Here's why this system is brilliant for longevity. The gas engine doesn't have to work as hard. During city driving, the electric motors do most of the work, meaning less wear on the internal combustion engine. When you do need power, the electric motors fill in instantly, so the gas engine never has to strain. Honda's hybrid system doesn't use a traditional transmission. Instead, it uses what they call an eCVT, which is really just a clever arrangement of gears and electric motors. There's no belt-driven CVT to wear out, no complex planetary gear sets. It's mechanically simple and has proven incredibly durable in the Accord Hybrid over the past decade. The Trail Sport trim adds rugged styling and slightly more capable suspension, but the real benefit is that Honda engineered every component to handle the extra weight and demands of the hybrid system. The brakes are larger, the cooling systems are more robust, and the chassis is reinforced. All of this adds up to a vehicle that's overbuilt for its mission, which is exactly what you want for longevity. Real-world data is incredibly promising. Early adopters of the CR-V hybrid from 2020 are already crossing 150,000 miles with virtually zero issues. The hybrid battery carries an excellent warranty, but more importantly, Honda's battery management system is conservative, meaning it doesn't push the battery to its limits. This extends battery life dramatically, and we're seeing hybrid batteries lasting the full life of the vehicle. One of the most impressive aspects of the CR-V hybrid is how it handles highway driving. In many hybrids, highway efficiency suffers because electric motors aren't as efficient at high speeds. But Honda's system is designed so that the gas engine can directly drive the wheels at highway speeds, completely bypassing any electrical conversion losses. This means better efficiency and less wear on all components. The interior quality of the CR-V is exceptional. Honda uses materials that resist wear, and the ergonomics are so well thought out that everything just falls to hand. After 200,000 miles, CR-V interiors still look remarkably fresh compared to competitors. The trunk space is enormous, the rear seats are comfortable for adults, and the driving position is perfect for long distances. Maintenance is where the CR-V hybrid really shines. Oil changes every 7,500 miles, brake fluid every 3 years, coolant at longer intervals, and that's essentially it. The regenerative braking means brake pads last 2 to 3 times longer than conventional vehicles. Owners are getting 100,000 miles or more on the original brake pads, which is almost unheard of. Number 3. 2026 Mazda CX-5. The Mazda CX-5 is the SUV that enthusiasts actually enjoy driving, and it's also one of the most reliable vehicles on the road. This combination is rare. Usually, you have to choose between fun and reliability, but the CX-5 delivers both in spades. The 2026 CX-5 continues with Mazda's naturally aspirated 2.5-litre Skyactiv-G engine, producing 187 horsepower in base form. There's also a turbocharged version with 256 horsepower, but for maximum longevity, the naturally aspirated engine is the way to go. This engine uses a 13.1 compression ratio, which is remarkably high, and Mazda achieves this through precise engineering and excellent thermal management. What makes the CX-5 special is Mazda's entire philosophy of engineering. While other manufacturers are adding complexity with fancy systems, Mazda focuses on perfecting the fundamentals. The CX-5's engine, transmission, and chassis are all engineered to work in perfect harmony, and this holistic approach means fewer conflicts between systems and better long-term reliability. The 6-speed automatic transmission in the CX-5 is a masterpiece of simplicity. In an era of 8, 9, and 10-speed transmissions, Mazda stuck with 6 gears and refined it to perfection. The shifts are smooth, the ratios are well chosen, and the internal components are built to last. This transmission doesn't generate excessive heat, which is critical for longevity. Heat is what kills transmissions, and Mazda's conservative approach pays dividends at 200,000 miles. Mazda's iActive all-wheel drive system is intelligent without being overly complex. It monitors everything from outside temperature to windshield wiper usage to predict when you might need all-wheel traction. But it does this without complicated mechanical components. The system is primarily front-wheel drive, which is more efficient, and only sends power to the rear when needed. This reduces wear and improves fuel economy. The CX-5's build quality is exceptional. Panel gaps are tight, the paint is thick and durable, and the chassis is incredibly rigid. This rigidity means the vehicle feels solid year after year, even as the miles pile on. Older CX-5s don't develop the squeaks and rattles that plague other SUVs at high mileage. Inside, the CX-5 feels premium without being gimmicky. The materials are high quality, the design is timeless, and the controls are intuitive. Mazda hasn't fallen into the trap of making everything touchscreen-based. There are still physical knobs and buttons for essential functions, which means fewer things to break over time. Consumer Reports consistently ranks the CX-5 as one of the most reliable vehicles on the road. Owners report that these SUVs require nothing beyond routine maintenance, even past 150,000 miles. The engine doesn't burn oil, the transmission doesn't slip or shudder, and the all-wheel drive system just works silently in the background. One often overlooked aspect of the CX-5 is its resale value. Because these SUVs have such a strong reputation for reliability, they hold their value remarkably well. A 5-year-old CX-5 with 100,000 miles still commands a premium price, which tells you everything you need to know about how the market views its longevity. Number 2. 2026. Nissan Rogue. This might surprise some people. Nissan has had its struggles with CVT reliability in the past, and the Rogue was often at the center of those issues. But here's the thing. Nissan listened, learned, and completely redesigned the Rogue from the ground up. The 2026 Rogue represents the culmination of those improvements, and it's a dramatically better vehicle for long-term ownership. The 2026 Rogue uses a 1.5-litre turbocharged 3-cylinder engine with variable compression ratio technology, producing 201 horsepower. Now, a 3-cylinder engine might sound concerning for longevity, but Nissan's VC turbo technology is genuinely revolutionary. The engine can alter its compression ratio on the fly, running high compression for efficiency and lower compression when more power is needed. This reduces stress on the engine and improves longevity, but the real improvement is the transmission. Nissan completely redesigned their CVT, and the 9th generation CVT in the Rogue is a different animal from earlier versions. It's stronger, it runs cooler, and Nissan has extended the warranty to reflect their confidence. More importantly, early data from the current generation Rogue shows dramatically improved reliability. The secret to the new Rogue's longevity potential lies in its engineering refinement. Every component has been analyzed and improved. The cooling systems are more robust, the engine management is more conservative, and the build quality is substantially better. Nissan brought in experts from Renault and used technology from Infiniti to create what is genuinely a new platform. The Rogue's all-wheel drive system is straightforward and reliable. It's a part-time system that operates in front-wheel drive most of the time, which improves fuel economy and reduces wear. When all-wheel drive is needed, engagement is seamless and quick. There are no complicated differentials or transfer cases to cause problems down the road. Inside, the Rogue offers one of the most spacious and comfortable cabins in the segment. The seats are exceptionally comfortable for long drives, and the materials are high quality. Nissan has also included Pro Pilot Assist, their suite of driver assistance features, which can reduce driver fatigue on long trips. Less driver fatigue means more attentive driving, which ultimately contributes to the vehicle's longevity through fewer accidents. The Rogue's maintenance schedule is reasonable and straightforward. Oil changes every 5,000 miles, CVT fluid replacement every 60,000 miles, and standard brake and tire rotations. Nissan has also made parts readily available and reasonably priced, which matters when you're keeping a vehicle long-term. Real-world reports from current generation Rogue owners are extremely positive. People who were skeptical about Nissan's CVT reliability are being won over by the improved performance and durability. Owners with 80,000 and 90,000 miles are reporting smooth operation and no issues, which is a dramatic improvement from previous generations. The Rogue's resale value is improving as word spreads about the improvements. This is a good sign for longevity, as the market is recognizing that Nissan has addressed past problems. A vehicle that holds its value is usually a vehicle that lasts. Number 1. 2026. Toyota RAV4. Here it is, the king of longevity, the Toyota RAV4. If you want an SUV that will absolutely positively still be running after 300,000 miles, this is it. The RAV4 isn't just reliable, it's legendary. There are RAV4s from the late 1990s still on the road with over 400,000 miles, and they're still going strong. The 2026 RAV4 comes in multiple configurations, but let's focus on the hybrid, which is rapidly becoming the most popular choice. The RAV4 Hybrid uses a 2.5-litre 4-cylinder engine paired with electric motors for a combined 219 horsepower. This system has been proven over millions of miles in various Toyota models, and it's virtually bulletproof. Toyota's hybrid system is different from most competitors. It uses a power split device, which is essentially a planetary gear set that blends power from the gas engine and electric motors seamlessly. There's no traditional transmission to fail, no CVT belt to wear out. Just a simple, elegant mechanical system that works flawlessly year after year. The RAV4's build quality is exceptional. Toyota uses high-strength steel in critical areas. The paint is thick and durable, and every component is engineered to withstand abuse. Panel gaps are consistent, welds are clean, and the overall fit and finish is superb. This might seem like aesthetic concerns, but they reflect an attention to detail that carries through every aspect of the vehicle. What really sets the RAV4 apart is Toyota's conservative engineering philosophy. They don't chase trends, they don't implement unproven technology, and they test everything exhaustively before it reaches production. The RAV4's engine, transmission, and chassis have been refined over multiple generations, with each iteration becoming more reliable. The hybrid battery in the RAV4 is one of the most durable on the market. Toyota uses a conservative battery management system that doesn't push the battery to its limits. This extends battery life significantly, and we're seeing original hybrid batteries lasting 300,000 miles or more. Toyota also offers an excellent warranty on the hybrid system, but most owners never need to use it. Real-world data confirms what everyone already knows. RAV4s last forever. There are countless examples of high-mileage RAV4s still running strong. One owner in California just hit 450,000 miles on his 2008 RAV4, and the only major repair was a water pump replacement. Another owner in Texas has over 380,000 miles on her 2012 model, and it still runs like new. The RAV4's interior is practical and durable. Toyota doesn't use fancy materials that wear quickly or cheap plastics that crack. Everything is mid-grade quality that lasts. The seats maintain their shape, the dashboard doesn't crack in the sun, and the controls work smoothly year after year. Maintenance on the RAV4 is straightforward and inexpensive. Oil changes every 10,000 miles for the hybrid, brake fluid every 2 years, coolant at extended intervals. The regenerative braking means brake pads last well over 100,000 miles. Parts are readily available everywhere, and any mechanic can work on a RAV4. The RAV4's resale value is absolutely insane. A 5-year-old RAV4 hybrid with 100,000 miles still sells for 60 to 70% of its original price. A 10-year-old model with 200,000 miles still has substantial value. This tells you everything you need to know about how the market views the RAV4's longevity. So there you have it. 7 Japanese SUVs that will absolutely last beyond 300,000 miles. From the capable Honda Passport to the legendary Toyota RAV4, these vehicles represent the pinnacle of automotive longevity. They're not the flashiest, they're not the most luxurious, but they'll be running strong long after more expensive vehicles have been scrapped. The key to longevity with any of these vehicles is simple. Follow the maintenance schedule religiously, address small issues before they become big problems, and drive them with care. Do that, and any of these SUVs will serve you faithfully for decades. If you found this information valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth automotive content. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these 7 SUVs you choose, or if you own one of these models, share your mileage and experience. Until next time, keep those wheels turning and those engines running strong.